Hello guys, really nice to have you here. Now, today is Wednesday, April 18th, 2018, and we're going to get started on the markets. We're going to turn the chart off. The chart's on right here. Now, first thing we're going to look at is the silver price, because this is the big mover and shaker, and I mean, she's going up right now. Right now, while we speak, it's going up. It's up to $17.15. She's just taken off. I can't. I'm worried because they always manipulate it to the downside. I'm worried at any time now, any minute now, that they're going to slam it. You know what I mean? And we've been staying in a range of like 1670 for the longest time, 1660, 1650, along in there. I'm scared when they slam it. If it goes up too high, if they slam it, it'll come down back lower than it was before. That's what I'm scared of. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for silver. I haven't really looked today to see what's causing this shoot up in price, but I like to see it. I like to see it. $17.15. Can you believe that? And it's up 39 cents on the day, and it's a spiking green, shooting up there. I just love to see it. Just love to see it. Keep going, baby. Keep going. That's nice. Okay, so now Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin. It's just over 8,000. 8,000, let me see, let's get the chart here. $8,085. Okay? So, Bitcoin's doing pretty good. It's in there solid for this morning, you know. It's, let me back up the chart here a little bit. It took this big climb up here. It's taken two more, green candles upwards. But it's kind of been just kind of going along ever since it took this big jump up to over $8,000. It's just been kind of staying there and consolidating it in around that price range. Okay, so that's what it's been doing. And we're going to take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalizations, $336 billion. And we've got Bitcoin dominance at 40.9%. So Bitcoin dominance has fell just a little bit. $516 for Ethereum. Litecoin, $137. Cardano's down a little bit. You know, down 2%. But most of the coins are up. Most all of them are up. Monero, $224. IOTA, $1.62. Neo, $69.76. Bitcoin Cash, $883. Ethereum, $516. Oh, well, I already did Ethereum. And Ripple is 68 cents. Bitcoin is at just over $8,000. So everything's looking good there. Now the market should have started by now. Let's just check in here. Yeah, the market's, no, it says at close. Okay, let's refresh the page. Okay, market open there. We got an up 34 points up today so far, which is nothing really. It's not really up. Now, remember this mark I said a while ago. Just a second. Let me spread this sheet out a little bit. Get in here and take a look at this. This is what I'm honing in on. This was the big fall. Let me bring the chart up here a little bit. I'll bring this down here a little bit here. So this was the big fall of the stock market, you know. And what's happened is she's consolidated now. And I figure that this peak right here, see these peaks? These consecutive peaks, I figured that this peak would be 25,000. Well, it's having a hard time making it to the 25,000 where I thought it would be. I thought it would be up at 25,000. And so what we do, if we plot these peaks, so we got a peak here, and we got a peak here, and a peak here, and this peak at 25,000, you can see that it's a descending, sloping pattern down from peak to peak, and then from bottom to bottom. So we made a little turn right here in the market. But I think that this is going to be very short-lived. This turn at 23,533. We made a little bit of a turn back up. See, she was descending down lower right here. from the peak right here to here. It was descending down lower. It's dropping. The market was dropping. But then it's turned right here. The market turned a little bit. And now what's happening is it is trying to make a peak at 25,000. We got to keep our eye on these bonds. So now what we're going to do is take a look at the bonds to see what's happening in the market here, what the next move of the market's going to be. So we move over here to the bonds, and we see the bond yields are starting to rise, but albeit very slowly. So that's not going to have a real effect on the market too much. So we're probably going to see a market that's going to make 25,000 pretty soon, and then we're probably going to see a little drop off after 25,000. In the market, but it's not going to be a significant drop. It's just a very slight drop. Let's hone in on the 10-year because this is what's controlling the market right here. And so you don't have to be a genius or anything to know what the market's going to do. You have to look at this 10-year yield, and this tells you what the market's going to do. Now, the market's good for its big fall. When this 10-year, right now it's at 2.838%. It's up a little bit on the day, but when this hits 3.25%, then the market's primed and ready for the big crash. And, of course, I can't exactly tell you how long it's going to take for that to get to 3.25%. It could be there in a month, or it could take 6 months for it to get there. I just cannot exactly tell you exactly how long it's going to take, but I can tell you that it has made a turn too. The market made a turn. It's made a turn. Right here was a turn. And this is where the yields have started to rise again. Right here. Right here. On the April 2nd, 2018. On the 2nd of April of 2018, that's when the bond market started to turn again. So it was dropping. It kept rising. The bond yields kept rising up here, look. Until they peaked on the, right here, they peaked at, what, 2.94% on February 21st, 2018. That's where they peaked. And then the Fed started doing some hanky-panky. And the Fed's hanky-panky drove them down all the way down to here, 2.71% on the April 2nd, 2018. And then what happened was then the Fed went back to what they were doing, which is quantitative tightening, right there. And now we're still in the quantitative tightening. And I know why the Fed did the hanky-panky. The Fed did the hanky-panky. And what I mean by hanky-panky is they cheated. It's like a person that's on a diet. Person says, okay, I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to lose all this weight. And they get on the scale the first week and they lose a lot of weight. Right? And the second week they get on the scale, they didn't lose any weight. You wonder why? It's because they're cheating. Well, that's what's going on here. The Fed was doing it. And here, look, the bond yields were rising. The bond market was crashing. And then the stock market started to crash. It scared them. They backed off. And then they did their hanky-panky, in other words, cheating. And then they quit their cheating. And the market just tells you what's going on. They quit their cheating here on April 2nd, 2018. And now, until now, which is the, up until, the chart goes up until the 4th, 17th, we can see the bond yield starting to rise again, albeit not real fast. Now, it's going to take a little while for the bond yields to get over 3%. But we're going to get another market crash. The next market crash is going to be a lot bigger than that warning. That was a warning. That was like a trembling. The Fed's not listening. Well, they were listening a little bit, but now they're back to what they were doing again. They're back to their quantitative tightening, and it's going to yield a market crash. Now, we're going to continue with this cycle of market crash, the Fed trying to do their hanky-panky, until the big crash, and then the Fed is going to have to turn directions completely, and then all confidence is going to be lost in the Fed. At that point, all confidence is going to be lost in the dollar, and that's when we're going to get our big dollar crash. I've set markers for you on the dollar, too. It's when the U.S. dollar index goes below 70. That's when we're going to see the dollar finally completely die and go into a hyperinflation. And the first initial stages of the hyperinflation is going to be rather slow for the first few months. But that's in the future. That's quite a little ways in the future, and that hyperinflation will accelerate. In the final stages, it's going to turn into a Venezuela. As far as in America, in that stage, is going to turn into a Venezuela. You want to find out what it's going to be like in America? It's going to be like Venezuela. Seriously. That's how to find out what we're going to experience. And it's going to be something akin to the Great Depression, albeit a little bit worse. And it's going to last until finally the U.S. dollar is not really worth much of anything. And then they're going to do a reset by switching over to a cryptographic currency, just like Venezuela did. It's called the Petro. That's the new cryptocurrency Venezuela created for themselves to get out of this situation. The United States will do exactly the same thing, even though they're a bigger country. And if you want to see exactly what this situation is going to be like when the hyperinflation's on, you only have to look to Venezuela. Riots, people throwing excrement. Seriously, they were throwing excrement at the police. They didn't have anything else to throw at the police. I mean, it's just people were burning Molotov, one of those things, they fill a bottle with, anyway. That's what was going on in Venezuela, and that's what will happen again. Let's take a look at the U.S. dollar. Now, this is what gets me, the U.S. dollar. When I saw silver going up this morning like that, I said, gee, the dollar must be going up. So I checked the dollar, and the dollar's not really going up that much. So I said to myself, it must be something else making the silver go up. Let's just check silver again real quick right here. She looks like she's peaked. 17.15. Now she's dropped back to 17.11. But still, I think it's going to still be a net up day. I just think it's going to be an up day. I think it's still going to stay up at least 16.90 probably is what I'm thinking. I think it's going to hold this. I'm hoping anyway. Hoping against hope that it's going to hold this. So let's see. If we covered everything here, I haven't covered oil. Oil's at $67.84 as we speak. It's up on the day. Let's take a look at the 5-day chart to get a better idea. Okay, see, right here, she's been going up all day long here today. $67.95, which means that the other crude is a couple dollars higher, so it must be up close to $70 right now, around $70 for the regular crude. This is the sweet light crude, which is a little bit cheaper, $67.84 right now. So anyway, that's it for your market update. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye.